Good evening. Okay. This is the Selectmen's meeting of August 17th. The first order of business are the minutes of July 20th and August the 3rd.
I move we accept the minutes of July 20th and August the 3rd.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Move that out of here. So I guess we're not, the biggest part of our business, well, not the biggest, but the most part is we have a number of Berkshire gas permits. I don't know if you want to take them one by one.
I have a beer and wine license here for Patty.
Oh, it was underneath. For G. Marconi Lodge?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, it's not on our agenda.
You don't have it?
It's under A. It's on the same
I'm
line.
sorry.
It's the same line as general
I got it.
business.
Okay, sorry. One day beer and wine for G. Marconi Lodge. November, the actual day is November 6th, but the license is good from the 5th to the 7th, from 5 o'clock to 11 o'clock p.m. It's going to be held at St. Mary's School Gym on Orchard Street, and it's a fundraiser comedy show, joint Lee Lions and Lee Sons and Daughters of Italy. Anybody have any questions about it? The time, I said the time's 5 to 11, okay. And I'm just, yeah, for wine and malt only.
Yep.
That's the only kind we do.
I don't have any questions, Bob.
No. It's all good.
Make a motion to approve the special license application for the, would it be the Sons and Daughters of Italy?
And, yeah,
And the Marconi Lodge?
yeah,
I'll second it.
all in favor?
Aye.
And waive the fee if there is a fee, Cindy?
There is no fee.
There is no fee, yeah, don't have to waive it, okay. Now we're gonna do the Berkshire gas permits. So I don't know if you wanna do them all together, or take one at a time. They've all been signed off.
If I could make one selfish request of the board,
Hi.
if I could make a selfish request.
Okay.
It would be that a lot of these roads have been paved in the last, 3-4 years. So,
Yeah, I know.
If we could make the stipulation that avoid penetration into the newly paved surface where possible. Obviously, they're all replacement of existing services, right?
Right.
So this has to get done. But to the extent that that directional drilling can be deployed as
And
opposed
I
to.
think we've given them that.
Yeah, we've done that in the past.
Already.
Yeah,
And
so
I
that's a
know-
selfish request on my part, but I think it's valuable to the town.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I know Zippy has signed off on them and
You're right.
Craig where needed. But I think they do have that,
We usually,
Not-
Zippy has them to bore under at any time whenever it's possible.
okay. So do you want to do them all together or one at a time?
Together.
I'll just read them?
Yeah, sure.
We'll do
Why don't you-
we'll do the bottom two separate,
Yeah,
okay?
yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, so we have
It's a little late.
Following Berkshire gas permits, 505, and these are all replacing existing gas service. 505 Church Street, 190 Stockbridge Road, 250 Stockbridge Road, 279 West Park Street, 20 Stockbridge Road, 332 West Park Street, and 260 Stockbridge Road. They're all replacing gas services.
I move we permit all of the,
Move to
move to
approve.
approve the permits for all of the aforementioned properties.
Yeah, with the stipulation that they
Okay,
execute boring where possible, right? I'd second.
okay? All right, yes, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye,
Thank you.
okay.
So-
Lucia,
Yes.
you're up.
Patty,
do
we
the
had
additional ones?
two other
I was, oh yeah, I was gonna do those at the end, I forgot.
Okay,
Wait,
so we
1
got-
minute, sorry. We had 2 additional ones that came in. These are to repair a leak. And my understanding is the Bradley Street one has already started because you
No,
can't.
they're gonna do it Monday.
Monday, okay. And the Center Street? Whenever.
That one Zibby wasn't concerned about.
Oh, okay, but it is to repair a leak, and I would think they have to get it done, so.
Yeah, I don't have paperwork on it, but they're repair leaks, right, so.
Oh, yeah, we
They
don't.
need-
We should
they
get
need
some,
They
at
need
some
to-
point, we need to get that.
Yep.
Yeah, they need to happen.
I mean, you could,
Repair.
alternatively, you could approve it non-protonque at your next
Right.
meeting. Would that make as much sense, Cindy?
What's that?
Since we don't have the paperwork and these are to
I
repair.
have copies of them here.
Oh, okay.
I can have you sign them, I can show them to you. I thought.
Yeah,
Well,
no, it's fine, we can just do it
We can sign them
now.
all together.
Okay, that's fine too.
Okay.
All right, and those 2 repairs are near number 174 Bradley Street and near number 196 Center Street to repair gas leaks, repair leaks.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the permits for the near Bradley Street and near Center Street locations for the repair leaks of the gas lines.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, now Lucia, sorry. I didn't miss anything else, did I? Oh, okay.
Everyone.
I'm sorry. First of all, did you bring the application in?
Yeah.
Okay, we need to
Okay.
have that.
You need the application?
Yeah. Because that tells us what you want to do, when you want to do it. and We haven't seen it, so we'll start there. Okay. So, we asked you to come back in because your son came last time and he didn't really have the information.
Yeah,
And, you know, you can take your mask off
Oh,
when you're
okay.
up at the thing.
thank you.
And, so if I understand, I haven't, okay, here, just a minute. Friday and Saturdays,
Yeah, but that's not every week. It's in the time where I have the event.
you want to have
Only-
them on Fridays
yes.
and Saturdays from 9 to midnight.
Yes, but the event, example for the dance event and stuff like that, I would like to know because the application say only to none. So I would like to know if it's possible to open on, close 1 o'clock.
I'm sorry, did you hear?
Yeah, you're wondering about the end time. essentially.
Yes.
You're
It's
saying
whatever
that-
you put on here.
Yeah, and that, because there they say none. So I mean like 12.
The
12.
Yeah.
12,
the application says midnight, but she's asking for 1 o'clock,
Oh, okay, you're asking for 1 o'clock, then that's,
Yes.
okay.
1 AM. Yeah.
Because this letter said 12:30.
I mean 12:30 we stop the music and stuff like that, but 1 o'clock is to close, complete the building is closed until people left and stuff like that.
Okay. So you want to do this every Friday and Saturday night?
Yes,
And now you want it from 9 to 1 o'clock in the morning?
yes.
Feelings?
Has there been live entertainment at the facility before? Has there ever been live entertainment there?
Yeah, we had every week live music, but if we finish 9:30, 10. So for the other kind of events like dance parties or for occasions like Halloween, we can make it something different. We can open until midnight. 1 o'clock in the morning. Close 1 o'clock.
But historically, at that venue, it's been a restaurant there for quite some time, and they've had live entertainment before. I know that there has been.
Once in a while,
Yeah, I mean, I played there personally
yeah.
in years past, so.
Yeah. Was that when Marilyn owned it?
I can't remember who the owner was.
I
but
think-
It was Stockbridge Station,
Yeah,
yeah.
Sullivan Station.
Sullivan
Yeah.
Station, yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
You know, I don't have a problem, personally, I don't have any problem with that, except you do have neighbors who have guests, and apparently, I've had people say that the guests complain of the loudness of the music. And so I guess, as far as I'm concerned, I would like to see you maybe touch base with the police, because they're the ones that monitor the loudness of it. And they may be able to tell you, you know, decibel-wise, what you should have, and then if there's a problem, at least they're aware of it. I don't know what you guys think.
Do we typically put any restrictions on, you know, music or for any other venues in town that, you know, for these sorts of things with a timing?
I don't know, I don't remember the last time we've given out, Kathy does.
Kathy,
Sorry.
Well, during Founder's Weekend, when they used to have the entertainment on Center Street, that was open till 10 o'clock.
And it started at what time?
Probably around 5:36.
Yeah, earlier in the night.
Yeah.
That's outside.
Am I wrong? It is outside. Am I wrong in also understanding that it's not intended to play until 1 a.m., right? You're,
I think that's what she's saying, to play
I
until.
don't know.
No?
No.
No.
Right.
What time are you going to play to?
Okay, we start at 9 o'clock to 12:30. All the music is shut off in the 12:30. So I put it at 1 o'clock is because we're gonna take a little extra time to move the people starting to go, and close the building and put it back all the stuff, something like that.
So you want to play
Yeah.
from 9
To
to
12:30.
12:30?
Yes,
And then, because you have to be out by 2, correct?
and
The building has to be empty by 2?
by 1. That I
Oh,
put in
by
the
1.
letter, yes.
No, I don't personally have a problem with it either, but I do think that, you know, I have seen, you know, some questioning of whether or not, you know, this, from neighbors, you know, whether or not this is a good idea, so I would definitely recommend you check in. You
Yeah,
know.
the only neighbor is close to me is the Chamber Hotel.
Right.
And he's a part of the partners of the building too. So I already spoke with the main owner of the building, and I spoke with him. I say he's starting to give a complaint about the parties and stuff like that. He said he's gonna talk with them because I don't think so. He liked me there because we never had any problems. We never talking too much. The only person I talk all the time about the building is the owner, Mr. Jeff Cullen. But the owner for the hotel is partner for the property too. The Lucia's Latin Kitchen, the one owner in the property, and this restaurant. So I spoke with them yesterday, and they say he gonna talk with them because I'm gonna give you a calendar with a schedule to what days are gonna have the parties ahead, so he know before I have the parties.
Okay. But what you're asking for us on this is Friday and Saturday nights.
Yeah, but I'm gonna mention, maybe my letter is not really clear, but it's only when they had events. It's maybe
Yeah.
2 events in a month.
You're
more.
not gonna have an
Every
event
week.
every
No.
Friday and every
Oh,
Saturday.
okay, because that's how
Yeah,
it's
no,
going,
no,
okay.
no. Just,
But would you have them on a Wednesday or a Thursday or another day?
but not with music.
But
We
not
can
with
have
music.
like Pincho Fiesta is not with music. It's just food cooking outside for a little bit extra time, maybe noon, but no music. No,
Okay,
it's just food.
so,
If we had something like that, it's just plans. It's not really. I got already in the book on the schedule.
do you have any other questions?
No, I think that, I mean, I certainly don't have any objection either, other than, and it's not an objection, it's just that, you know, we all have to live together, and we all have to respect our neighbors, and if it became a problem, you can manage this, I'm sure. I'm sure, and so if it became a problem, it would probably come back to us, and I think
Right.
you should just bear that in mind.
And that's how I feel too. I mean, we can try it, and see what happens, and, as Bob said, you know, we gotta be respectful, and
Yeah.
if somebody complains because the music's too loud,
Or you're you're operating too late, you know, those
Right.
sorts of things. So I would just be cognizant of, you know, when
Right.
you're playing music till, you know.
So I just want to be sure though, so you're asking for 9 to 12:30? Okay, 'cause
Yes.
and either a Friday or Saturday night or both, but not necessarily every single Friday or Saturday.
Yes.
Now, if there's another day you're gonna do it, that's separate. You have to come in and get another license. That's
That's
with music,
for music. Oh, yeah.
okay?
Well, I mean, my question is that every time when they have the events like dancing party, something like that, I need to come in again to put application, doing the same thing?
If you're going to have entertainment
On a different night.
on a different night.
On different night, okay, like Thursday?
Yeah.
So- okay, perfect, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, I understand now.
All right,
But it sounds like an annual.
I know.
But she's crossed off, special. So if we're gonna do it, we're giving it out almost like it's an annual.
I know.
That's my concern.
And this is what we had spoke with your son, I think, last meeting, is saying that this it almost makes sense, I think, maybe in the future, to sign up for, we have an annual entertainment license, that way you don't have to come back in over and over and
Okay.
get multiple,
Sean, that can be the annual, there's a place
Oh, it
cross
can- it
off for
can
an
be then.
annual on
Yeah.
that.
that's what, yeah.
The annual has a fee for $25
Right.
for the year.
and special doesn't, okay. So I guess the only issue is you're asking for Friday and Saturday night, and according to this, it would mean every Friday or Saturday night. So unless we could put on it,
It's not gonna be every week, at least maybe.
I would suggest that you sort of maybe form some sort of a schedule,
yeah,
you know, so that way we can just kind of, you know,
Okay,
right. And we'll try it and see what happens.
okay.
Or, everybody all right with that? You wanna,
Yes.
somebody wanna make a motion to that effect?
I'll make a motion to accept the entertainment license for a special entertainment license here to Lucia's Latin Kitchen, with the understanding that, you know, you should stop music promptly at 12:30.
And be out
Yes.
by 1, if that's the law.
I'll second it.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions? Okay, all those in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Okay, Cindy, I put 12:30 on here.
Okay.
That's my initials.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Oh, Kathy, it's your turn.
Well, I have two things, because you have public comment up on like number 3.
You have to wait for public comment if you want to make a public comment,
Oh.
though.
No, no, but
Oh,
I'm
we forgot to
saying,
ask for public comment.
Oh, you
I
did?
forgot.
yeah, so I mean, I can wait, just tell me when you want me
Go
to.
ahead. Let's get it over
You
with.
want me to go ahead with the public comment, and then I'll do my report.
Okay.
All right, so it's not really a comment, it's a question. I don't know where I find out about the property line for the Lee Athletic Field. My concern is that the parking area that's closest to the liquor store, 2 trees have been cut down. I don't know if that's part of our property.
Okay, the assessor's office will be
Okay,
able
the
to tell you.
assessor's office, and the same
Sarah
thing
Naven.
with finding out the area behind the fence and in the back of the former Housatonic
Okay.
Cafe. 'cause-
Kathy, if you stick around after this meeting, we'll pull it up on GIS.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
All right, so that's my question about that
Okay.
property.
No problem.
All right, so the Lee Youth Commission, our members are working on the training for the conflict of interest law. One of the questions that came up was, if a member has done this training, you know, for this year, but for another commission or committee, for example, if they're part of the Lee Youth Commission and also part of the Lee Public Schools, do they have to do this training twice?
Why didn't somebody call Chris Britton
They
and
don't.
ask us?
They don't.
Because he's not there.
He just left. You know, that's a good question. I don't know.
Yeah, my understanding that, that you take, you know, you don't,
For each board?
right, you don't take it multiple times for each board, right? I mean, you know, once you've taken it, you're good for, until it
It's-
expires.
No matter how many
It's
boards.
2
you
years.
have.
The Commonwealth wants to know that, the people who serve in these capacities are aware of the conflict of interest law. They don't necessarily expect you to be aware of it twice if you serve on 2
Okay.
boards.
Yeah.
Or 3
So they-
times if you serve on 3 boards.
They would just do it once, and I think it's for a 2-year period.
I believe that's
Yeah.
Okay.
correct, yeah.
And then we did receive the pickleball equipment. However, we can't put it out because we're still waiting for the lines to be drawn.
Okay.
And so hopefully that's sooner than later. And the meeting with Barbara Heller from Barry Dunn to begin the work for the marketing analysis and the financial feasibility study is this Tuesday, August 24th, from 2:30 to 3:30 here in the town hall.
And what is this?
That's to begin the
To
startup
begin.
work for the marketing analysis and the financial feasibility study.
And is that with the Lee Youth Commission?
Yes, it's with the Lee Youth Commission or anybody that's interested
Well,
in,
who's calling the meeting?
oh, who's calling the, yes,
Lee
the
Youth
town,
Commission.
yeah.
Okay, so
Because our
it'll be
contract is
posted
the
and
town.
everything.
It will be posted. I'm waiting for her to send me the agenda,
Okay.
which she will give me tomorrow morning, so it'll be posted tomorrow morning for
Okay.
Tuesday.
Okay,
Right.
And that's it.
that it?
Yep, thank you.
That was easy.
Unbreakable, I have to pay, make a check today or come back for the.
No fee.
Oh,
There's no
okay.
fee.
All right, thank you, have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, now let's see if I don't miss something. Well, we're up to the town administrator search process. But maybe I would just like to get one other thing out of the way before. I need to know what you two feel about going back to Zoom. Do we have any, have we had any communication from the Board of Health, like Jim Willis?
No, I mean, but, so we instituted a staffing mask mandate for all municipal buildings. And we did that in consultation with the health director, who pointed out that, you know, basically what CDC has recommended. Beyond that, there's no mandate. I know they have a meeting coming up of the tri-town board, so all 3 towns, Lee, Lennox, and Stockbridge. That's forthcoming, but it has not occurred yet. Unclear at this time whether or if there'll be discussion about broader guidance on masking or other countermeasures at that time.
So I guess I'd at least like to know what your feelings are.
Well, I think that, I think the handwriting's on the wall, that things are going to get worse before they get better. And I think we, at the very minimum, we should be prepared to go to Zoom
Okay.
meetings, fully prepared to do that.
All right, so our next meeting isn't until October, well, I think we have a 3-week hiatus in between tonight.
September.
What? Oh, I'm in the wrong month, sorry. Is it, so is
September
it
7th, I believe. Well,
September
it's
7th?
So it's a 3-week.
It's a
yeah.
3-week hiatus.
Right, 'cause
What
the
about if we wait?
31st is would be the 2-week Tuesday, so.
Okay, and you think Tri-Town will have met by then?
I think so, yeah.
You want to wait till Tri-Town meets and see
Sure.
if they have any guidance, and if so, that we'll
Yeah.
publish it, that it'll be Zoom and go from there?
Yeah, and we may see additional state or.
Yeah, state,
National
yeah.
level guidance.
That's true.
In the interim period as well.
Are you all right with that?
Yeah, at this point, I'm sort of indifferent about it. I mean, I kind of, I appreciate we definitely got more attendance and more participation on Zoom, so I appreciate that fact of the matter. But it also, you know, it makes things a little bit more cumbersome,
It does,
you know.
it does.
But, so there's pluses and minuses, but yeah, I don't.
All right, well, let's just hold off again until, before we have to post the next meeting. And if it is a Zoom, it'll be on there.
How difficult is it to set up Is that really simple?
It's not difficult
Right.
at all to set it up as long as everybody's participating
Mhm.
at their own workstation.
Right.
We're, in my other capacity, I'm experimenting with trying to figure out if there's a way, because it's nice to interact
It
on a
is.
personal level,
Mhm.
even with masks, right? So we're trying to see if we can have some success with a hybrid
Yeah, yeah.
model, whereas we did try that once here, and it was not,
Yeah.
it was not a good outcome, but other communities have.
You need one of the kids to come in and tell us how to do
Yeah.
that. The little kids.
There's a couple of pieces of equipment that communities have acquired around our neighborhood, so if we can use those effectively, then we could potentially have the best of both worlds.
I happened to attend a Stockbridge Selectboard meeting I'm volunteering for a project over there, and they had a hybrid meeting, and they have this large screen TV, they're really set up to do it.
Yeah, I think their model is the select board's in person and everybody else.
Yes, right,
is,
yeah, pretty
right?
much, yeah.
The Lennox school committee had a very heavily attended meeting the other night. They deployed what's called an owl, which allowed the committee membership and staff, along with a few audiences members, to attend in person, but the substantial bulk of the public participation came through Zoom. And it was a bit clunky, but I think if with practice, and we've got 3 weeks to practice, we can perhaps make that work effectively for Lee.
Okay. All right, then we'll just put it on hold, and everybody will
Yeah.
know it if we do go to.
Yeah, and I would just add, I think we've discussed this a little bit before, and as you both know, when we attend joint school committee meetings, everybody's got their own computer. They do, some members are in person and some are, so that's kind of how they get around it. But again, it's a little clunky because the muting and the, trying to
It is,
figure it all out, but
but I think we probably can do it.
yeah.
We can figure it out. We have a couple of people in-house that are pretty good with it, so. Okay. So now we're up to pending business, none.
Did we-
Town administrator, no business. What am I missing, Sean?
The administrator search process.
Oh, yeah. I was gonna get to that.
You run it's your meeting.
That's
sorry.
okay. So we are up to the town administrator search process, and, Chris, I don't know if you have any information about the 3 different ways we can do a search process?
Yeah.
I never got a final copy.
Oh, yeah, well, I had, so, for the public's benefit and the board, in response to the ending of the shared services agreement between the 2 towns, I had done a little bit of thinking, and the chair and I spoke, and I kind of sketched out a couple of different scenarios, using some examples of what other towns around us have done. There's a couple different options. Right? Option 1 would be a strictly board-directed search. This is where the selectmen and utilizing staff resources advertises the position. The recruiting is handled in-house. Finalists are selected and interviewed publicly. And that's probably the shortest time frame. It's also probably the least in-depth in terms of review and vetting. It's similar to a model that Richmond used when it recruited Danielle Filio, who lives here in Lee, was in
Okay.
Stockbridge. The sort of one tier up from that would be a search committee, and where the board would appoint the committee. The committee would advertise the position, and the recruitment could still be handled in-house. That's sort of option 2A. Option 2B would be a search committee with a consultant or a recruiting firm who handles a lot of the advertising and vetting of candidates. And then that enables the committee to interview and vet candidates to try to get down to a semi-finalist or finalist
Who would
set
then-
of options.
And usually they get down to like 3
Yeah,
that they'll recommend to us, and then we would
right,
interview them publicly.
right. So Stockbridge utilized a search committee, but I don't believe they used a consultant.
Right.
Ray Barrington utilized a search committee and a consultant. And where I was recruited in Lennox, they utilized a search committee and a consultant, and that could take 6 to 9 months
Yeah.
timeframe.
And I just went online just to see how other towns do it, and the search committees are made up of, it's done a lot of different ways.
Right.
Sometimes it's a member from every board in town, and it's a lot of different ways of doing it, so
Yeah,
we'd have
there's a
to
lot of
talk about
options.
that.
And then the third way is sort of like a community assessment, where you have a consultant who not only does the recruiting, but there's sort of this very verbose process of
Yeah,
surveys, and Williamstown's going through that right now.
yeah, and the only thing about that, this is my thinking on it, is that, I mean, I think it's great to have the community say, oh, we'd like a town administrator who does X, Y, Z, and A and B. But C and D might be more important to us as selectmen, and the residents don't know that, the community doesn't know that. I'd rather get as many respondents as we can using a search committee, and then let them interview and narrow it down and make recommendations, because this is, they know what our town needs. They should, the people that will be appointed to that, and they know how our town feels. And then my other feeling is I'm not really crazy about getting a consultant, because we're gonna spend months hiring a consultant, we're gonna spend lots of money hiring a
Right.
consultant, and we're probably not gonna get much more than we would with our own search committee, going through the channels that
Right.
there are to go through.
In the end, I mean, if it comes down to the three candidates, I guess,
Depending on how many we have.
depending on how many we have, there's gonna be public input anyway.
Yeah.
At the very end, it's gonna be
Right.
open meeting.
And how we put it together is up to us too.
Mhm.
I remember going through I was on the search committee for the first town administrator we had. So that was the first time we ever did that. And we basically kind of did it that way. We had different people from different departments that worked. Now, in retrospect, maybe that wasn't the best thing to do, because these people were going to work for the person they were interviewing, and that's not maybe the best thing to do. But it's up to us to put it together how we hope. Or I know people that, if there are people that are interested in serving on the search committee, I don't know, have we gotten any calls, Cindy?
No.
Okay. We did put it out there, but we can put it out again, just to call the office, and we'll put your name on a list, and then we can go through the list, see who they are and what they bring to the table, do something like that.
Yeah, I would definitely like to see some candidates for that committee at the
Yeah.
next meeting, would be great, because this is, here we are, our timeline is
Right.
short.
Well, as I keep saying, before you know, it's gonna be September 25th.
Yes, and I'm definitely preferable to the committee with or without a consultant. Does the consultant cost, what does the consultant cost? What would be,
It depends.
Right.
It depends on how many they
I
get.
can get some
that-
feedback from,
It's just something to weigh. I mean,
Yeah.
that would add a slight fee there.
Yep.
But either way, I think we want to have a search committee.
Yes.
So
I
that's the
would
first thing.
agree with that.
We
So
want a
if-
search committee. If you're interested in being
Yes.
on the search committee, call the office, Cindy will put your name down.
And it's on the town website currently?
It will, can be.
You'd be deciding that
Yeah.
tonight.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we'll have it on there tomorrow.
I think we should have that on there tomorrow.
Just a call.
I mean, I'm seeing everybody nodding their head. It
Yes.
seems like this is the direction
Okay,
you
we
want to
may
go.
have to
Right.
wait
Okay,
till Monday.
all right.
Oh,
I don't know who put
For
stuff
Oh,
on.
no, that's not a problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we can put that on there. If you're
Yeah.
interested in being on the town administrator search committee,
yeah.
contact the
Right.
office.
We'll
And,
make
uh,
that happen in the morning.
And should we decide on the number of people on the search committee?
You know, I've thought about that too. I know the first time we had like, I would say 9. That's off the top of my head. Sometimes that gets unwieldy to deal with, but we'd want to have an odd number. So my suggestion would be either 5 or 7. I don't know what.
Well, I would say, let's
See how many we get.
respond.
Comes in and-
Exactly,
Okay.
right, yeah,
Okay, because we can figure that out after.
right.
Okay,
But, by the way, I think that's exact, 5 to 7 is exactly right.
okay.
Having been through this on the other end of it.
Yes. And I have a couple other questions for you in regards to that. In regards to, once you leave, what happens, where are we as far as the Town Administrator Act? Does it fall back to the town administrator we had when Bob was here? Because you're the CAO and it had different things in it than Bob's did. Do you know how it would happen, if it happens automatically
So
once you're gone?
The board would designate a person. Yeah.
Oh, to follow in,
To fulfill the requirements of the
of
special
that,
act.
of your contract,
No,
your, no.
actually, you know, one of the eloquent things about the shared services intermunicipal agreement was, you know, it had this umbrella title of CAO.
Yes,
Because that title was embedded in both the town manager's role in Lennox and the town administrator's role in
Okay.
Lee. And it was something that was in agreement between the two, so we
Okay.
chose that. But the CAO merely served as the town administrator in Lee, as defined by Lee's very own special act. You know, so
Oh,
there was no changing of
The
form
special act.
of government. And there was no changes to the special act.
Okay.
Lee, and Lennox for that matter, maintained their very own special acts and, you know, the.
so unless we changed it,
Yeah.
the requirements of the position would be the same as yours are now under the town of Lee's
But the
special
board-
act.
But the board would have to designate a
Someone.
person to fulfill those duties and responsibilities.
Okay.
And where I think you're heading with this is, we don't think that that'll happen in the next
Before
45
September
days, right?
26th.
No.
And we won't have a search committee come to you with 3 finalists who can start
Right.
by September 26th. I think
So we
that's
have to be prepared
rational.
for the interim.
Right. And I think that's exactly right, an interim town administrator.
Okay. And to that effect, we could do the same thing, because I have seen them do that. Form a search committee to go out and hire an interim, which just kind of like prolongs everything.
Right.
Or we could, if we had someone in-house that was capable of it for the time span, however long it is, and we agreed on that, we could probably do that and come up with a interim responsibilities and goals and that stuff.
Right.
I would favor that. That's just my own opinion.
I think that's what we have to do at this point.
Huh?
I think we have to do that at this point.
I think it's the easiest way
Right,
for us to
yeah.
do it.
Yeah, I was hopeful to sort of have some sort of interim administrator come in, you know, from outside, but I don't really think that that's highly likely at this point, you know.
I don't either.
It's almost redundant.
Right.
And the time, the time span just drags it on a little bit longer.
I've always felt that way. I mean, regardless of the community, it feels redundant.
Mhm.
I mean,
When you bring in somebody in an interim capacity. or-
there are some benefits to doing that.
Depending on how long they're here.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But, I mean, in your case, I mean, the path that you seem to be gravitating towards is a path that would say, not that long, right? So.
Well, I think for our size town, I think it's the easiest and the most forthright way to go for the community. And if we have an in-house person, he knows or she knows the community, she knows the people, she knows the issues and the problems, and that might, get us through the time until we've hired our own. Do I take it one step further? I have a candidate.
Yeah,
Oh,
we figured
okay.
you would.
It's Chris Britton,
Yeah, I suspected.
and I'm just throwing that out there. And he's thought about it a little bit, and
Is he, he's open to the idea then?
he's open.
Okay,
We'd have to figure out, because he can't give up his job.
right.
We'd have to figure out how to work that and
Mhm.
this and that, but I wanted to put it out there and get your feelings on that.
Well, I would be open to that, for sure.
Sean?
Yeah.
Okay. And then we would ask you probably to speak with him and come up with what his duties will be for the time being.
Yeah, and how do we cover both administrator
Right.
and the clerk's role?
Right.
Do we need an interim clerk? I don't know.
Well, I don't think so, because I don't think it would be full-time as a town administrator. I may be wrong, because he's in the building already, and that's his only focus. Not to take, I'm not taking anything away, but, so he would have less, I think, less stress on him dealing with things he knows nothing about, or, but he is open.
He's got a good team.
He's got
That's
what?
good.
He's got a good team here at town.
Yeah, he does have a good team.
He also
And,
has a good relationship with the community as well. I mean, I think
Yes.
the people would be open.
Yeah. So that's where that is right now, unless you have other ideas. I just hate to spend 4 to 5 months hiring an interim
And then,
who's got to come in blind. And then, 4 to 5 months later, come in with somebody else, when we probably have the ability to do it in-house.
Yeah,
I don't know what the next step in this process would be.
I'd be happy to talk to him. But by the way, I mean, I think that's a brilliant decision. If that's what you're gravitating towards.
We're all
It
brilliant.
sounds like
Yes,
you
we're all
are.
brilliant.
I mean, just speaking for myself, I mean,
Yeah.
Chris, in my 21 years of doing this line of work, he's one of my very best hires.
Okay.
So
Great.
I think that's brilliant.
So are we all right with that? We'll go forward in that direction?
I agree.
yeah, and I think it's just, again, I don't want to overburden Chris with too much, just too much. I mean, so I think that's.
Right.
That just goes to show, let's get this
Well, Sean,
committee.
he did go to UMass, so
This is true.
Yeah.
so it's okay. We can handle it.
Yeah, and as far as help, I think his busiest times are elections,
Right.
voting, and all that.
Town meeting.
And we have lots of people who work in his office periodically for that. And then for anything else, if he's not available for the morning because he's doing something else, well, he'll get hours, and I think we can manage it. So we're gonna go ahead in that direction?
Yes.
As long as
Agreed.
he's comfortable
Right.
with that, and we can get an understanding of.
And we'll get an understanding of what we feel the duties and responsibilities are
Yeah.
for that job, and figure out how much time we think that might take, and probably you know best on that.
Fair enough, yeah, I actually can't wait to have the conversation. My only hope is that there's enough lag time in the airing of this meeting so he doesn't get too many text messages while he's out.
Okay. Anybody have a comment on that?
Chris would be outstanding, plus not only you said UMass, I want you to know he was an Eagle Scout. He just has all that
Of
integrity.
course he was.
you know, that goes along with being an Eagle
Yeah.
Scout.
Did he?
He's just super.
Did he have a town administrator badge?
I don't know, I'm gonna ask him.
Okay, well, I think that's headway. To me, that's headway we're
Yeah, I
making,
think so.
because we just gotta keep pushing
It's
forward.
it's a very smart and decisive move that will help shorten the timeline. So,
Yeah.
Well, that's all I have. That's all that's on the agenda
Yeah.
tonight. We got all those
It does
gas permits taken care of, right? Okay,
I'm actually relieved that he's willing to
Oh,
step
good.
up, yeah.
good. All right, so our next meeting is September 7th at 7 o'clock. And can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.